All right, boys and girls, let's go live. Actually, I just had an idea. So, I was informed that this mic would be better if I put it like right up against my face. Can I remove it from its standing? Looks like I can. Oh, what if I completely withdraw you from your stand? Is that a thing I can? Or is this the thing? Okay. So I completely butchered my poor innocent little mic to remove it so I can hold it like a mic. Now I'm curious what this sounds like with this right up to my face as a mic. So I'm going to mute the mic and listen to what this sounds like on YouTube as a way for people to come in. Doesn't sound all that different. Doesn't sound. It makes me sound like Mickey Mouse. At least to me, I sound like Mickey Mouse on this damn thing. Howdy, everyone. I'm the Shadow of the Hawk. Damn, my arm's gonna get fucking tired doing this. And today I'm gonna be talking about, as you can tell, boiling frogs and death of steaks. For those of you not in the know, and for one of these I completely understand, and for the other, do you live under a rock? The Halo show dropped or not the Halo show, the Fallout show dropped last week. It's a good show. It's a good adaptation of Fallout. It's a bad addition to Fallout, and I'll get into why. And it's partly because boiling frogs. The other thing is the Femme Custodes that have recently been revealed as canon by Games Workshop. That's also boiling the frogs, and arguably more so the death of stakes. But I wanted to vent about Fallout on a stream that's dedicated to venting about that rather than just kind of like slipping it in. Okay, Carrie, for once. Okay, Carrie, save the date. This is the only time that you will ever hear this come out of my mouth. Fake out. Yes, the Fallout show as a canon entity within the Fallout timeline is fake out. You are correct. That is the only time you will ever hear it come out of my mouth, Carrie. So yeah, yeah. Listen, okay, listen. It's like something being free when you take it. Okay, for a bear, for an Earth sign creature, it is free. For a person, it is not free. Yeah, welcome to the Hawk Talk, bitch. Nothing makes sense here. We all float. We all float down here. But and then just some general discussions for fun, Might even toss the link to the panel in because that sounds like fun, I guess. I don't really know. So to start, boiling frogs. And no, I'm not talking about some Cajun uh Creole recipe for food. I'm talking the idea of boiling frogs. For those who don't know what that means, basically is if you want to get something, done, right? Do you just like cultural change, for instance? Like say you want, communism to be a thing. You want communism to be widely accepted in such an individualistic society as America. Do you start with just switching to communism immediately? No, you don't. You start with reforms like the ones that were done in the early 20th century, like Social Security, public education, retirement, women's rights. That is technically a communist thing. If you look at guys like Mao, yeah, technically, and I'm not saying women's rights are bad, but technically speaking, wow, the fucking views. I say wow, I say women's right is communist. Fucking views drop. Okay, uh, women's rights stems from a thought process of liberalism, and communism is liberalism taken to its furthest extreme, being absolute equality. So women receiving equality is a tenet of communism. It is fundamentally part of communism because communism is uh womp womp. Uh uh sorry, now something in my DMs got me laughing. Um Crap, where was I? Yeah, okay. So shifting things forward. You know, you boil the frog by doing incremental changes to something. So people don't notice. So people don't care. Like female knights in a fantasy setting from a society that is very chauvinistic and misogynist by modern standards. Then female custodian, a faction who they don't have specific information about their process, but they were always. Yeah, Carrie, that's gonna happen. Um, isn't it wasn't specified that they all had to be male. It's just they've always been male. So it's a term of language. It's just language. Yeah, exactly. One fence at a time. Oh, Gunsmoke. Oh, I like hearing that. Thank you, man. It brings a tear to my eye to hear that I'm someone's favorite something. I know I'm Carrie's third favorite chewing toy. Yeah. Carrie, Gunsmoke is as of based on his Twitter profile under 18. So please watch what you type. That would be great. Thank you. or don't. It is America. Just keep in mind there is someone under 18 in the chat. Well, I've been demoted. Damn. I've been demoted. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyway. Uh so yeah, so you boil the frog. Carrie. Um yes, especially not that. Especially not that. Definitely not that. Categorically not that. Fundamentally not that. But so yeah, so the boiling of the frog in the Warhammer community, objectively speaking, this whole femme custodes, femme Bretonian knights, it's all leading up to female space marines. Like anyone who thinks otherwise, you're stupid. Now, before I get into how that applies to the death of stakes, I'm also going to apply this same thing to Fallout. I'm sorry, my nose is just hold on. My nose is just randomly runny for some reason. Give me like a minute to go deal with this problem. Carrie, I'm leaving you in charge of the stream. Oh, Carrie. We, we both know who you're talking about, and that's not happening. Said individual is mentally insane. She's not insane enough for that to ever be a thing. Yeah. You get your taste of power. Then I'm back. I'm back, Carrie. You don't get your freedom. You don't get your salvation. I'm always watching. So the Fallout show. Carrie, I let you have your fake outsburg. I let you have your fake outsburg, okay? Okay, let's keep the chat constructive. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let your fake out Spurg. I'm gonna let you have another fake out Spurg because the show nukes. Literally, like with actual megaton yield weaponry, nukes the NCR not into non-existence, Carrie. Okay, so I'm saying that, getting that on the table, you can have your Spurg. You could Spurg about fake out. And then dial it back a little bit, please. So it categorically nukes the NCR, just it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Returning the West Coast to effectively the pre-Fallout 1 status quo of things. No organized society, no unifying presence in the wasteland, no real attempts at building anything beyond a township to trade stuff in. I'm you're only human. I'm giving you this chance to like out your emotions before I get into the fact that that Amazon using the Fallout show makes a moral argument for racism. So let's talk about the ghouls. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So I need to talk about the issues I have with the Fallout show because it is canon because it is part of the timeline of Fallout. Before I even discuss why it and the whole Femme Custodies things, why those are both boiling frogs. So within the Fallout show, a few things happen, like the nuking of the NCR for capitalism, if I remember correctly. I haven't gotten to that part of the show on my watch. This is based off how other people who were defending the show's choices explained it to me. So you've got like the NCR get nuked for capitalism. The Brotherhood are not, a technocratic unified entity. They're just a bunch of guys kind of loosely associated to each other wearing the same armor and all kind of hate each other for some reason. Because apparently they've taken a lot of beatings and they, okay, you would think that such a society would withdraw, or like what you see with Lost Hills in not Lost Hills, the it's so fucking long since I played New Vegas. The bunker, the Brotherhood bunker in Fallout New Vegas, or what Maxon's chapter does, where they hunker down and do like local patrols in the DC area, secure their local area, not wage a wasteland search for what's going on, or toss squires into meat grinder. Hmm. Oh yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good. No, you're good, man. No, I was just confused because I know they have some songs that are Berserk themed, and I thought there was like an actual compiled Berserk album. Yeah, no, okay. Well, so I have an issue with it, and this goes into like the Death of Stakes thing with just, oh, it's gone, it's nuked. But I'll get into that when I get to the Death of Stakes part. So they erased the NCR. The Brotherhood are no longer the elite erudite academics that are looking for technology and being kind of xenophobic to everyone. They are basically a more tolerant, somewhat theological version of the Enclave, in that all of them are dicks, they're supremacists, and they're all very foul mouthed and not very smart. So those are the two main West Coast factions that I've seen be bastardized, and the Brotherhood feel like a last minute addition. They do not at all. There's nothing interesting about them up until like episodes 4 or 5. Like they're just not doing anything aside from a little bit of exposition and deconstructing the Brotherhood, which kind of ties into the whole like the boiling frog thing. Ghouls. So in Fallout, one of the reasons ghouls, sentient ghouls, are discriminated against is because people are terrified that they will become feral, that they will randomly turn into brain hungering, organ harvesting zombie men. The games definitively prove this is not true time and time again. Ghouls are just people who are suffering from very bad skin conditions. The show depicts ghouls actively going feral if they are not taking a specific kind of drug. Basically, kind of like an insulin shot. Kind of like an insulin shot. So if the ghouls do not get their insulin shots, they go feral. Just like the racists in the game say. So if ghouls actually go feral when they're not taking their insulin shots, you are morally justified in gunning down every last non-smooth skinned, zombie faced, corpse breathed bastard that you come across, because that is a ticking time bomb that will come for your family, according to Amazon. So remember, kids, according to Amazon, racism is based. Oh, my channel's gonna get fucking nuked, isn't it? It's gonna get fucking nuked. No, not ghouls, Carrie. No. So you got ghouls, which are so you got the feral ghouls. Then there are the ghouls that you can actually talk to. And no, this is a Fallout thing, like in Necropolis. There are ghouls in Necropolis that you can talk to. Those ones that have functional brains that are able to communicate like people, who are basically just immortal individuals with very bad skin conditions. Those chuckle fucks did not need drugs to not transform into feral monstrosities. The show is arguing. I'm trying to remember what that is. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were, yeah, like the Brotherhood were not, they weren't the knights as they are depicted in Fallout 3. Like, in my opinion, that should have been not the Brotherhood. That should have been some other thing. But yeah, but yeah, no, they're just the Enclave, but the Brotherhood for whatever reason. Yeah, okay, so the Necropolis. Okay, Necropolis ghouls can talk. Getting into Fake Out. I know you're gonna be mad at me, Carrie, but in New Vegas, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, the ghouls that can talk are discriminated against because people are terrified they will go feral, that they are ticking time bombs that will one day snap and start killing children like pit bulls. So they are racist to the ghouls. The show, by adding this whole little insulin shot thing, which adds, some moments of tension, actively justifies anti ghoul racism. It is morally justifiable in the Fallout universe now because this show's canon. So this drug does exist. It's just never really touched on in the games, but this drug does exist in the Fallout world because this is canon. You are morally justified in being racist to ghouls. Oh, this show justifies discrimination against people. Just hats fucking off to Amazon, boys and girls. Hats fucking off. So yeah, there's like Carrie, you're missing my point. Carrie, you're missing. Okay, you're missing my point. It's whenever you're playing the game, you will come across settlements that exclude ghouls because they think they're gonna just randomly start killing people and go feral. That's not true. In the games, that is multiple times disproven. That is not the case. Ghouls just don't just randomly start slaughtering innocent people. The show says they do. So by the logic of the show is presenting, every single time that there's been a case of enslaving ghouls, murdering ghouls, hurting ghouls because they will one day turn into a corpse-mouthed zombie, those individuals are justified. And if you save the ghoul, then you're the moral wrong because you're letting a rabid animal ticking time bomb go. And then okay, let me rephrase my words. Fallout 3's were shining knights in armor, engaging in charity and defending the innocent because that is their core tenets. That is not the Brotherhood. Just like tossing waves and waves of your own men at a problem is also not the Brotherhood. Recruiting wastelanders. I'm specifically thinking places like Megaton, Rivet City, um, Novak. Again, I'm mostly referencing New Vegas and 3 because those are the ones I know the racism is in. Howdy, Dempsey, the drunken poet. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Boiling Frogs and Death of Steaks. But yeah, I've kind of been like harping on to the changes of the Fallout show. But wait, really? They were a ticking time bomb? Like, wait, Carrie, like they actually would slowly degenerate into killer monsters. Because from what I have played and what I have heard, that's just Wastelander racism towards ghouls and to justify hurting them. Just like, saying Italians were innately driven to be criminals due to biological factors and environmental factors was also was a bullshit justification to hurt Italian Americans. So I'm confuddled. I'm confused. But yeah, so tying the conversation back to boiling frogs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My bad. I misunderstood. Yeah. People. Yeah. So people did exclude ghouls because they thought they were ticking time bombs because zombies and discrimination is a thing, and the show justifies that discrimination. I've been harping on that point for a little bit too long. Let's jump back to the boiling frogs. So why is this boiling frogs? Okay. The show is Boiling Frogs because by making it canon and making it a very very good show that everyone is seemingly enjoying for the design, the characters, even the story. If you went to the bait house, you would have known this, South Banker. Look, I'm still playing through Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, Dempsey, okay? Don't give me shit. I took a couple months hiatus because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm back at the frogs. We're going back friend. We are being good friends again. Ho wee wee. I am losing all my subscribers for that horrible French accent. So we're going back to the whole French. We're going back to the whole frogs. We're boiling frogs again. We're talking about boiling frogs. And frogs. What are frogs? Frogs are amphibians and they like water and they like water being at a very specific temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. But if you slowly raise the temperature, you will acclimate the frog to the higher temperature slowly but and steady, just up and up and up and up. Just keep incremental changes, incremental changes. Or you make the situation very palatable for the frogs. Okay, Gunsmoke. Do you like frogs as pets or do you like frogs as food? That's the real question. Are you Creole or are you sane? Yeah, dude, I love Fallout 3, despite the fundamental problems I have with it as an inclusion in the Fallout franchise. Um, it is my Carrie's gonna fucking kill me for this. Carrie's going to track me down. He's gonna sooner or later gonna hunt me down. But Fallout 3 is my personal favorite. It's just the one where I feel the most wastelandy, like where I'm out on the range, where I've got my pistol on my hip, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I've got it on my computer. When I get to it in my little Fallout run, going from Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, I'm gonna mod the hell out of it to make it a survival experience because it's the frontier. It's the wild fucking west. It's there is nothing out there but you and your gun and whatever ammo you got in the bag. Fallout 1 and maybe Fallout 2, I haven't gotten there, is very similar to that, but Fallout 3 has better graphics and gunplay. Yeah. Carrie's gonna fucking murder me. Okay, so it is food. Oh no, they are pets. Oh, Gunsmoke. Like, oh, frogs are nice. Bait House is a reference to a world I'm making, Carrie. There's an individual in the world named Patrick of Bait, and we settled on Bait House or something to that effect being a military university. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Fallout 3 is a good game. Fallout New Vegas, in regards to story, blows it out of the water. So you would, it's definitely the better order for that. Uh, okay, Fallout 3 has a different. The engine that Fallout 3 uses is better for someone with my generational standards of playing video games. If I want to play a game like that, I like being able to move around the world and interact with the world in the way that 3 lets me. Fallout 1 is still fun. I still enjoy it, despite how fucking painful it is at times. Fucking Carrie. Fucking Carrie. Speaking of which, I recently discovered something kind of funny. Apparently, male tears, the things that like a bunch of feminists have put on their mugs. Apparently, it means something very different and has a very different connotation and implication for these feminists than originally thought. And I think it's funny. Um, but yeah, moving on, moving on. So back to the whole frog thing. So you incremental changes, you make slight changes, or you make the situation very nice. Like you give the frog a nice, fat, juicy cricket. So it's chewing on the cricket and it's enjoying the cricket as you turn the temperature up a bit hotter. Weird. And the frog doesn't know. The frog doesn't care because it's getting its nice, juicy cricket. Why am I talking about that? Why am I talking about frogs and boiling them? And well, frankly, it's cultural. It's what we've been experiencing for since 2016 to now has basically been a bunch of companies trying to boil the frog in the form of fandoms, but not really knowing how to. Just kind of like tossing the frog in scalding hot water and being surprised when it leaps out. Ghostbusters 2016 did this. The sequel trilogy definitely did this in the form of The Last Jedi. Uh, like Terminator Dark Fate, most of the Alien films, like all of this stuff is basically or Alien sequels, excuse me, the ones after like 2014, I think, were their release dates. All these attempts at creating, using IPs that people know and love to create like whole new stories that are your stories have failed, have fundamentally failed because they didn't boil the frog, they scalded the frog. They tossed it in a pot of boiling hot water and got mad when the fans left out. The MCU was an attempt at boiling the frog, but it turned up the temperature way too damn fucking fast. You had a nice big fat juicy cricket in the form of the first four phases of Marvel, or was it no the first three phases of Marvel? Excuse me. And then then they boiled it a little too hot in the form of Captain Marvel and WandaVision and all the stuff that makes it the MCU. Boiled us way too damn hot, and the fandom got pissed. Fallout is the exception to that because what does it do? It fundamentally makes it so the first second it makes it so Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and Fallout New Vegas do not matter anymore. They are the fundament. They are the bedrock. They have been crushed under, and any Fallout property going forward has the total and absolute creative freedoms of Bethesda. They can do whatever the fuck they want on the West Coast and not have to worry about it. And people are cheering this on because the Fallout show is objectively a very, very good show. And it's very much Fallout. But what it does is it breaks the existing world down to its gravel and then packs the gravel down to do Bethesda's story on top. Oh, there's some stuff in the chat. An attempt to keep us collectively at each other's throats so that we won't unite. Not quite. That's more of the political stuff. I was making a comment earlier about this on Twitter, and I decided to delete it because it's a little bit complicated. Hold on, I'll check that in a sec. Carries BRB. Um, the art of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Yes, fundamentally. That in regards to politics, I would definitely say that. Culture culture is politics is downstream from culture. If you can control the culture, you can control the minds. Culture is a method of mental control. You don't ever really want internal conflict to be the primary reason you control a society because eventually one side will win. And yeah, typically the side that ends up winning is the most extreme, like Bolshevik extreme. What you want is you want a population that is docile, that is groomed to be ruled over and to accept being ruled over. And the way you do that is you affect the culture. In the comment I was going to type on Twitter before I deleted it, I mentioned the right of kings. In Christian Europe, using religion as a basis of rule and a basis of control, the idea that you should serve your king came from the right of kings. A king has sovereign right to rule you, and should he be removed by another king, that's because God empowered that other king to take over what land you possess. That kind of thing doesn't really work now because a lot of people are very not religious or in their religion are very individualistic and view themselves as directly speakable to God, not having to go through some intermediary like the Catholic Church or their king. So you need something else. You need something else to make people docile. Right. Well, that's where politics comes in. And so you want them to have an enemy, absolutely, but it would be better to have them directed at an external enemy, not an internal enemy. So right now they have everyone. Okay, welcome back, Carrie. I said that very enthusiastically. Unenthusiastically. Hold on. Okay, Carrie, welcome back. So you want an external enemy to be the target of your ire because if it's internal, like I said, you could get like a cult of personality individual, like a certain Trumpster, rising up and rallying people behind him and fucking everything up. So the politics and the war in regards to that is around, keeping everyone angry at each other so the aristocracy can establish their power. But we're not the ones that they want to, influence with the culture. Gen Alpha or younger parts of my generation are the people that want to influence with that culture. Look at kids programming today look at kids programming in general. If you go back to the early 2000s to now, most say Disney and Nickelodeon shows either don't really depict parents very well or the parents that are depicted as good people are very incompetent to the point where the children are having to solve most of the problems the parents can't deal with. Huh. Wouldn't that inspire an individual to believe that their parents cannot be trusted to handle things? And then if you grow up on shows that further supplant that you should trust government and you should trust authority, like a lot of children's shows do. Huh. Yes, but in yes, there is that aspect to it, but that's more like a lot of this is more of the politics of things bleeding in. Like, I mean, in the case of EVS and Young Ripper, that's an example of not state manufactured beef, but more plebe class manufactured beef. That's not the Catonians and the Caesarians getting into a fist fight. That's this guy trying to sell his bread on one street picking a fight with another guy on the same street, selling his bread. That's very different. And then the sequel trilogy versus prequel trilogies. That's a plebe-induced conflict. They didn't intentionally make the sequel trilogies to fail. No one makes something with the intent for it to fail. They legitimately tried to insert messages into those films. They just couldn't really click. They couldn't really control for how well they would be received. They were expecting either a dumber population or a more placated population or a population that were going to jump for joy at the sight of a woman. So that didn't really work out. The white versus black, though, I will absolutely agree that is definitely a manufactured conflict. But again, that is a political conflict. That is not a cultural one. And when I say culture, I mean the consumption of culture, like films, books, comic. Okay, let's make sure we're using the same definitions. I'm speaking of the influence. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. You want a docile population, and you want a docile population. That's what I'm talking about right there. You give them bread and circuses, and you don't want the circuses to include things that might galvanize or inform on how to rise up. You don't want a child of the plebe class, for instance, ever having aspirations of being a great warrior that might overthrow the evil king. Because if he starts believing that the lord of his nation is an evil king, then he may try to kill that evil king. And if 10,000 little boys try that same thing, one of them will strike true. It would be better to raise a docile population that don't accept, that do not believe in them as the one who can rise up against the king. Rather, it is the needs of the many to do it. And if the many do not want to act, then, well, then I guess I shouldn't act. And a lot of other things. But so back to the boiling frogs thing. I kind of went on a tangent there, and I apologize, everyone. But so the boiling frogs, it is so that they have total control over the messaging of the content in there. In the Fallout show, again, the Fallout show exists, in my personal opinion, based off what is going on in the show. It is the purpose of the show is to clear away Fallout's 1, 2, and New Vegas so that Bethesda can have total and absolute control over the story going forward. And that seems very benign by itself. Okay, it's a games company wanting to be able to manage the story by themselves. Okay, who really cares about that? But when you pair it with every other franchise trying to do the exact same thing, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, again, another example of a very good, actually, example of the boiling frog. The whole, well, it's an alternate timeline. That is an easier pill to swallow. Used or yeah, like that's another successful example. But you have the Rings of Power, is their attempt at telling their version of a story using the existing IP. The She-Ra show, same thing. They are attempting to draw people in with something that's popular, something that they know will get people involved, and then are trying to push their beliefs and their message on people. The problem is they're taking a pill and trying to shove it down a dog's throat, and the dog doesn't want the pill. But shows like Fallout or films like the J.J. Abrams Star Treks wrap the pill in cheese before putting it in. Carrie, can I get a justification as to why you want the wrench? You can DM me the justification if you'd like, but I mean, my channel's not big enough where I need mods, so I'm like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this isn't an attack. It's not an attack against you. This is just I don't think I need mods. So I trust you. I absolutely trust you, and you've expressed that is a very bad decision on my part. Again, I remember mentioning that I trust you, and you're like, that's a very bad decision, so I'm going to need a little bit more than that. No, exactly. Exactly. But why? Why do they want to do this? Why are they boiling the frogs in the first place? In the case of a lot of these actual writers, it's because they want to make their imprint upon the world. They want their story to be seen because they know what they're doing. They are intelligent, which is why they're repeating the exact same stories, but with different characters every single fucking time. But the actual, okay, the people pulling the strings, the people allowing this to happen and wasting billions. What motivation do they have in completely breaking down the existing culture, the existing stories of heroes rising over challenges, of evil being defeated? What possible reason could they have to, with the way things are, gray it out? Make it so you can't rebuild after the ashes, making it so you must supplicate to an authority, making it so that men cannot be heroes on their own. They must look to a leader that is of a more agreeable and feminine persuasion. Why? Why would they do this, everyone? Why would they want to influence the culture? Because what you consume affects how you think. And how you think, and so okay, what they alter what you consume. If what you eat is good for you, like proteins, like if you compare the Mongols, for instance, who ate a diet of meat, cheese, and yogurt to the Chinese peasants, you've got who ate mostly grains and occasionally sweet potatoes. One were a warrior population and one were not. Same fucking idea. If you feed people stories of heroism, of individualism, and of being a warrior, they will aspire to be individualistic, to be heroic, and to be a warrior. And if you strip those away and you make heroism a sin, you make individualism bad, and you make warriorness something that should not be achieved in any way, shape, or form, then people will not aspire for that. And then if you toss in a few more things like super fatty foods, soda, this general nihilistic vibe that nothing can ever be better, like you see in Fallout, where the NCR legitimately tried to make a better world and were stopped by a mysterious they. In the show's case, it's Voltec, and you hit that message over people's fucking heads over and over and over and over again. Eventually, you get to a generation like Gen Alpha who just do not fucking care at all, who would just sit there and stuff their faces and play with their technology. And when they do get a moral lesson, it's nothing ever matters. Sit the fuck down. That's why the boiling frog fucking matters. Because if you let the frog get boiled, like what we're seeing with the Fallout show, like what you're seeing with the Warhammer series and Star Wars and Star Trek and everything, if you let the frog get boiled to the point where you go, okay, well, like if it's, oh, well, I understand why they did it and I'm going to let this happen. No, no. If they're overwriting the existing canon in order to push their message, no, don't fucking accept that. The reason why I will defend the Bayformers films, and I will not with a greater vehemently, while I will be more vehement in my defense of, say, the Bayformers films over the Fallout show, is they do not attempt to put themselves above the canon that is the Gen 1 cartoon. Transformers Prime does not attempt to put itself above the canon that it was drawn from. The MCU does not attempt to put itself above the canon that it was drawn from. But something like, say, The Witcher show, which attempts to rewrite the canon it is drawn from. Something like the Halo show, which attempts to, oh, it, it doesn't directly translate, but it's an example. Okay, the Halo show is an example of an attempt at an adaptation. It just sucks. So that's not a good example. I apologize for bringing that up, but I'm hoping people are starting to get my point. Hold on. Tearing our heroes from us. People will not emulate those rebellious heroes if they have no stories. Which, well, not really, not really, because if people, somewhat, some people will try to emulate them, but also wait, no, actually, no, fuck, you're right. Yeah, no, Dempsey, sorry, I misunderstood what you were writing. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, exactly. If there's no stories of heroism, people will not try to be heroes. One sec, hold on. Carrie is messaging me. Carrie sent me a message. Um. Oh wait, Carrie, is this Oh, Carrie, is this like that Fallout thing? I remember you trying to get Cat to play it a while back. I'm not able to remember the specific details, but crap. Yeah, okay. Is that what you wanted? Yeah, I can just post that in the chat for you, man. Okay, guys. So I'm just gonna quickly I'm gonna have to one hand this with my left hand. So Carrie, mandatory Carrie in the chat. Everyone say hi to mandatory Carrie. He is a big Fallout fan, and a while back he brought this thing to my attention. He- he's in the DM he just sent me. He describes it as a spiritual successor to Fallout that's more faithful to actual Fallout. Uh, Fallout Online. Uh, Carrie, could you either in the YouTube chat or in Discord text or type out like what the explanation for this is? Just because I'm an idiot and I don't remember what you described. I remember you talking about this. I remember this is a thing that you told me about, and I'm just not very smart. Did my internet go out? Did my channel just get fucking nuked? It's not letting. Okay, so I'm trying to open my fucking channel on. Okay. Okay, I was trying to open my channel on my phone and it didn't let me. And I just tried to open it on my computer and it wasn't letting me. Everything else is like working fine. I just opened Discord. That's working. Weird. But so, okay. Copy text and then paste. Okay, so my understanding of this, and Carrie, feel free to correct me, is okay, so if you can't do it in chat, then DM me like just a quick little elevator pitch of what this is so I can explain to everyone else what this is. But so yeah, so okay, that's the boiling frog. That's the fundamentals of what the boiling frog is. It is the slow incremental changes to completely overwrite existing canons and existing stories. Adaptations are fine. Again, the Bayformers, the MCU, those are fine because they are not attempting to supplant the existing content. They are not attempting to rewrite the existing content. They are not attempting to be the alternative. They are alternatives. They are options. They are different methods of consumption of the original content. Boiling the Frog is trying to usurp that. In the case of the Warhammer community, where they actively rewrite the lore, such as, oh, women have always been custodies. Okay, so if they can just do that, and this ties into the Death of Stakes, if they can just make that change whenever they want, the universe has no more meaning anymore. There is no more internal consistency. If you can just randomly make a change at the drop of a hat with a magic wand, okay, nothing matters. Like objectively, nothing matters in your setting. If you can just change things if you okay, let me rephrase, because yes, you can actively change things. You can just change things however you want. Okay, that sounds really fucking cool. That sounds really freaking cool. That sounds really cool, Carrie. That's really cool. For those of you listening, merging Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 world maps, and you survive in that world. That sounds cool. That sounds neat. That sounds very nifty. Um, yeah, okay. So yes, any creator, any writer, whatever, could just magically wave a wand and change their setting. The willingness to the showing the willingness to do that in such blatant terms actively ruins your setting. Because fundamentally, at its core, what makes a good world is the consistency and the ability to immerse yourself in that world with consistent, with consistent, real details. Dragons, for instance, would not be able to fly. But if you establish in your world that dragons can fly, and no real reason is given other than they can just fly, okay, the rules of that universe are dragons can fly. And let's say that it is explicitly stated in the world that unicorns do not exist. Unicorns are fantasy. Unicorns are fairy tales. Unicorns don't exist. You get, say, 10 episodes of that show. And then episode 11 comes out. And then there's just randomly a unicorn. There's just randomly a chariot being drawn by a unicorn. No one really notices. No one really, like, what's the fuck's going on? And then you, as the creator, explain, no, unicorns have always existed. You're just a bigot. But when you've explicitly shown time and time again, unicorns don't exist, you have just shown your willingness to sacrifice the internal consistency of your canon for something that fundamentally does not matter. Like, and that again applies to basically everything. If you are willing to sacrifice your internal consistency, okay, no, that's not fair, Carrie. That's not care. Fallout 3 is the fact that armor doesn't work correctly in the show. Fallout New Vegas is that the main character goes helmetless. Fallout 4 is the unicorn. Okay, let's agree to meet in the middle. Fallout 3 is the armor not working. Fallout New Vegas is people not wearing helmets. Fallout 4 is the unicorn. Okay, can we agree there, Carrie? Is that so? Is that where we can find common ground? Can we Steven Crowder this? Can we find common ground? Can we change each other's minds? Or am I about to get a angry Californian in my DMs? I feel like I'm about to get an angry Californian in my DMs. Then I'm going to get a very angry. I almost said Liberian. A very angry. What? Okay, Lebanese. I'm going to get a very angry Lebanese woman after me because Carrie's going to sick. Nevadan. My apologies, good sir. My apologies for getting that incorrect. Unironically, my apologies for getting that incorrect. You live in Nevada. Okay. I currently live in Oklahoma. I apologize, Carrie. I apologize for being incorrect. Uh, that would be that'd be Fallout 76. Unironically, that would be Fallout 76. Oh, poor Carrie. She'll come after both, bro. She'll come after this entire fucking stream. You, me, Dempsey, Gunsmoke. We're all dead if Amira winds up. I should probably not have emailed her this stream. Now that I think about it, Hmm. I really shouldn't have. That was probably a very bad decision on my part. Damn it, Carrie. Why'd you do things? Why do you do things, Carrie? Why do you exist? What is wrong with you, Carrie? What is wrong with you? But yeah, okay, so that's mostly what I wanted to talk about boiling frogs, why it matters to talk about boiling frogs, and the death of steaks. I didn't send you this. I didn't send you this fucking stream. What yard link? What are you smoking? What are you smoking, Carrie? What? What? Carrie? What? What? Carrie? What are you smoking? Why am I getting fucking Discord messages? Okay. Why? Why? Okay. Do you guys want to talk about Iran? Is Iran a fun topic? Is Iran something we can talk about? Or because I've kind of like talked to death this general topic, unless someone else wants to contribute to the conversation about boiling frogs and the death of steaks, because I think I've said about as much as I need to say. Um, what you've shared with me about your life, I kind of don't want either. You kind of don't want to talk about Iran in front of me. I gotta be honest. I mixed you and Sam up on that for half a moment. I kind of forgot you're the one who has everything to say about Iran, and Sam is the one who has everything to say about the WEF. I'm the guy who thinks they're in cahoots with China, and all three of them are fucking us with razor wire and a baseball bat. They're using Lucille from The Walking Dead to rectally reprogram humanity in the form of blood as lubricant. I really hope Gunsmoke tuned out because, like I said earlier, he is under 18, and that is something really, really, really fucked for me to have said in front of someone under the age of 18. Fucking hell. Taking away death from a world is such a terrible decision. It is only taught by establishing time travel in a world. Very, very few times has time travel or being rezzed ever worked within a story. Yeah, well, again, that's the death of stakes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's go with this angle, actually. Yeah, removing death as a sacrifice, it, fuck. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because, like, if you can just replace people immediately, then who fucking cares? Actually, hold on. That is a topic. Okay. Games Workshop do very, 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 very few things correct. This is one of those things that they did correct. Prince Mesa. I always think Mesa for some reason. Prince Mesa. The entire plot of this book is a man trying to resurrect his dead wife. It is not an easy process. So, in the context of that, in a very Orifice or Orpheus type story where there is a struggle to achieve the goal of resurrection, yeah, no, resurrection is actually fine in a story because it is the journey that you're aspiring to. It's easy access of resurrection. It's easy world altering changes because it's like in D&D. Like the moment you add healing, like a level 1 cleric or a level 1 paladin can just fix a broken arm with magic. Like literally just walk up to a dude and your arm's fixed now. If you just have like one person really, really fucking devout to their god in a village, a lot of these minor issues that would, like pox, plague, falling off the roof, getting your arm ripped off by a fox, all of those things become very minimal problems when you have a healer that can save you. A healer is never gonna save me just in time. Hell, a bard, an individual whose whole thing is just saying mean things, can heal you. A guy who fucks dogs in the woods, being a druid, can also heal you. A guy whose job is just hunting animals for the king, a ranger, can also heal you. So D&D's world is kind of fucked in regards to stakes because everywhere you go, there is healing magic. You kind of need to kill a motherfucker in order to actually leave a lasting impact upon them. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it depends on the way it's executed. Yeah, I apologize. Um, again, it depends on the kind of story you are depicting, I would say. And it depends on the purpose, it depends on the role of death within the story. If death is the ultimate obstacle that if death is an obstacle that can be Delicious in Dungeon, for instance. In Delicious in Dungeon, all you need to do to heal a to cure a person of death. I apologize, Carrie. In Delicious in Dungeon, the only thing that you really need to do to cure someone from death is just cast a healing spell on them because of a curse in the dungeon. The focus of the story is not on escaping death. The goal of the story is to recover an individual from it's just to fight a bunch of monsters and recover an individual and to um recover food and to just acquire food from the various monsters you kill. The focus is not entirely on the eternal stakes of death. It's more of just exploring the dungeon and completing the quest. But the stakes are but if they die and they are not found, then they're dead for a while until they're found. Or if a monster eats them, then they're eternally dissolved. Actually, no, death is permanent. Yeah, no, never mind, Dempsey. You're right. You're actually right. I'm taking that back. Yeah, no, because death is permanent. Because if a monster eats you and breaks up your bones. Yeah, absolutely. But it also served a narrative. It's also a narrative purpose. Gandalf being resurrected shows that God is still in it for mankind. Is still batting for mankind. Is still willing to toss mankind a few aces. Give them an extra. Give them a gun. Gandalf the White. Going from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White is the scene from John Wick where it's like, "Are you gonna give me a gun? Would somebody please get this man a gun?" That is the gun being given to humanity, showing them, yo, you just got a fucking gun. Use it, bitch. And proceeding to use it against all those damn dirty, disgusting, vile South Bankers. I mean orcs. Fuck, are we gonna be racist? Am I really bringing anti-South Bank racism into this? I brought anti-South Bank racism into this, didn't I? Hmm. Damn it, Dempsey. Damn it, Dempsey. Exactly. Fire Prometheus. Absolutely. Indubitably. Categorically. Fundamentally. Let's shift the camera a little bit. I want to say hello to everyone. Let's shift the camera. What the fuck are you doing? Okay. Um yeah, okay. I guess because we've shifted into talking about tropes. In the case of Dempsey, Dempsey does not like the trope of death being easily fixed. I have an issue, personally, fundamentally, with the magical child trope. Bro, bro, bro. Um, what's really funny about this is apparently Russians sympathized more with the orcs. So Russians would read Lord of the Rings, and apparently there was an author that got so pissed off Sauron lost, he made a fanfic version of Lord of the Rings where Sauron was the good guy. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me actually see if I can find this Russian version of Lord of the Rings. Uh, where Sauron is the guy. Hold on. Okay, hold on. The Last Ring Bearer uh, is a fantasy fan fiction book by the Russian paleontologist Kirill Iskov. It's an altered account of and an informal sequel to the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Critics have stated the book is well known to Tolkien fans in Russia and that it provides an alternate take on the story. Esgath bases his novel on the premise that Tolkien's account is written by the victors. Mordor is home to an amazing city of alchemists and poets and mechanics and astronomers, philosophers and physicians. Yeah, no, so basically, there is a do 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 do. Yeah, no. So basically, the gist of it is because Tolkien wrote his side very spiritually, Russians more empathized with the materialistic and the more down to earth, for lack of a better way to phrase it, orcs and Mordor. And so there's a version out there that is basically here. I'll post the Wikipedia page. Apparently there's no English translations of this fear because of fear of the Tolkien estate being the Tolkien estate. But yeah, no. So that just because of Carrie's point, I don't know what you mean by the golden child, but I just mean in general the whole magic child trope pisses me the fuck off. It's less of a Satanist Carrie and more of atheistic, materialistic piece of garbage. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like the Soviets, but they're not Karl Marx, and Karl Marx is significantly more preferable to Satanists. But no, so I fucking hate this trope. I absolutely and don't get me wrong. I don't dislike the idea of like say a magical child like Harry Potter. I don't dislike the idea of a chosen one. Again, I like Percy Jackson. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I am not old enough to remember that. But no. So what I'm talking about is where you have a primary character, an individual. Like let's say, you know what? How about this? Let me grab the comic book that I recently read that inflamed my contempt and hatred for this trope. Red Sonja Mother. So I look at this, right? I look at this cover. I read the summary, and it's basically Red Sonja has to be a mom. I think that sounds fucking cool. You know, Red Sonja having to teach this child and educate this child about the way the world works, and like that is a very cool story. That's Red Sonja, this badass warrior woman who's only ever had to look out for herself and is just cold to the rest of the world, having to develop a little bit of humanity for this child and learn to be a mother while also, you know, trying to instill good values in this child in a world like the Hyborian Age. Like that's a very interesting concept. You know what it turns into? The child is possessed by a fire demigod, and she's able to win whatever fight she wants, but she must learn to control her power so that she doesn't just kill everyone. Red Sonja becomes a side character in her own fucking story. She does not need to learn anything beyond, oh, I need to actually care about the child. She doesn't need to balance saving the. She becomes a MacGuffin. She becomes a plot device to further the child's story. Just like Pacific Rim Black. Okay, at the beginning, it is a significantly better sequel than Pacific Rim Uprising or whatever that fucking horrible film that turned the Jaegers into Power Rangers was. And then it turns into magical child that can turn into a kaiju. And the story doesn't revolve around the two main characters trying to find their parents and escape Australia. It's the magic child. Mandalorian. The Mandalorian could have been about hunting down different bounties and rebuilding Mandalore and like fighting the New Republic in the first. No, it's about Baby Yoda. And when they finally get rid of Baby Yoda, they bring him back. They need to bring Baby Yoda back. Yeah, no, I'm not happy. I'm not content with that. Deluxe Dungeon does this as well, where the main story was okay. We got to find the main character's sister. They find the main character's sister. She's a fucking magical special child that is able to cure people from death. So now the story is no longer about the main group trying to find creative ways to kill monsters and make food out of them. It's about what is going on with the magic child and the forces, admittedly, the forces that also turned her into magic child, but fundamentally, it centers around the magic child, not the main characters. The Magic Child is basically a Mary Sue, but not the main character. It pulls in everything else about the series, about the book, the comic, the film, the game, whatever it's about, whatever it is set in. The Magic Child sucks all of the attention towards themselves. And it's fucking infuriating. And I fucking hate it. It just like you want this character to be the focus. Write the story involving that character as the focus from the fucking get-go. Don't lure me in with a character that is cool and badass and has an interesting story and then toss it the fuck away so that you can have your little Mary Sue power session, but they're a child, so you can get away with them not being a Mary with them. Fuck. I turned into Shad. I am normally very composed. I am normally very eloquent with I try to be at least. I very much try to be. Too fucking shake, Harry. Touche. Touche. Gunsmoke, I apologize. But like I hope I'm getting my point across. I do not like the special child trope, the magic child trope, because it just sucks all the love and the interest of every other character and every other interaction within the setting into them in the same way that a Mary Sue does. But like the Mary Sue, where it is their story, so you can at least understand why that is. I did when I was younger. It is Rick Riordan is a freaking progressive. Rick Riordan. Yeah, no, Rick Riordan is a progressive author. This book, I didn't really understand politics and the whole boiling the frog thing when I first read this book. I did when I was reading the Apollo series. And then looking back on the Magnus Chase books, I kind of realized that Rick Riordan, especially after some of the stuff he said about the Percy Jackson TV show, the guy is a freaking leftist and he's willing to sacrifice his own IP to the altar of the woke. And it pisses me off because the man is actually very talented with some of the stuff he's done. Um, yeah, no, like it's the Magnus Chase series is fine. Like, it don't get me wrong. Okay, Rick Riordan is one of those people who can boil frogs, and he can boil frogs very fucking well. Okay, he can include a Muslim that doesn't want to stone a lesbian to death, or a pansexual. No, wait, no, Magnus Chase. Okay, Magnus was a dude. Fuck, hold on. I need to. Okay, hold on. There was what was the name of? Okay, so Magnus in the books ends up with a freaking gender confused queer or something to that effect. I don't remember what the fuck. Anyway, okay, what do you call? Well, okay, what do you call a guy that is the sub in a relationship involving an individual who can't pick their gender? Legend of Homa. I have not. Actually, here, hold on. Let me. So let me grab because okay, I don't like Rick Riordan, but his books are very good. So I'm just because Gunsmoke suggested it, I'm going to be. Let's post this here. Okay, so that's the Wikipedia for the Magnus Chase series. Okay, no, I don't want that. And then what you say, the Legend of Huma. Legend of Huma. Wait, hold on. What? No, hold on. I just realized something. Delete comment. Delete comment. I can just hold on. If I go into the Wikipedia page and then I copy the URL. Oh wait, that works so much better. Okay, so here's the Legend of Huma. Legend of Huma, and then Magnus Chase. Magnus Chase. Okay, so to answer your question, Dempsey, I have not read The Legend of Huma. Huma. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Based on the wiki picture of Magnus, he is much less of a fucking fairy than I thought he was. I was expecting. The third book put this image in my mind of someone who's way, way, way more pathetic than Jason Grace, and I think Jason Grace. The only thing that keeps Jason Grace from being a total fucking faggot is the fact that he's straight canonically. Even though I think Piper strapped him. I am such a horrible human being. I'm not. I'm not a good human being. Yeah, that one. No, they weren't transsexual. They weren't transsexual because they didn't actually. They just switch genders. They just flip genders. Which I mean, again, child of Loki. That makes fucking sense. But like, it's just it's boiling the frog. Legend of Huma. The first of the heroes sextet. Oh wait, this is Dragonlance. Yeah, okay, no, this is on my reading list. I need to read this. I need to read the Dragonlance stuff. Like people have been mad at me. D&D fans have been mad at me for not reading Dragonlance, and my response to them is, "Sir, that setting is older than me. That setting is older than me." Carrie, you are this vulgar. You are this vulgar, Carrie. Don't lie to me. Basically, it's someone who like just flip flops. Like they go, oh well, now I'm he him, and then tomorrow I'm she her. And the character threatens violent force upon people who can't keep it straight, even though they can. Sorry, it can't. I used the wrong pronouns. My bad. I didn't apply my truth. My truth matters. To the situation. This channel's gonna get fucking deleted. I'm gonna pull out a mirror, and we're gonna have Shadow of Hawk 56 at some point. Okay, yeah, that is true. I do have a problem with that word. It's a fun word though. Look, okay, Amira has her faggot word. I have my fuck word. Okay, it's just okay. Well, sir, I still have Mr. Dempsey. I still have to finish these two books in the Drist series, as well as get a bunch of other Drist books. I've got some friends yelling at me that I need to read specific Horus Heresy books. I've got these two chuckle fucks to read. I've got the entire fucking Usagi Asagi. My grandma got me the Usagi Samurai Rabbit book stuff about a year ago, and I've got the box. She bought it like the whole fucking collection for like $5, and I still need to read it. No, freaking Salvatore. R.A. Salvatore is good at his job. Yeah, goes so fucking hard, and I need to read the earlier books. I jumped into the Hunter's Blade trilogy, and I'm like, yo, this is so freaking cool. I don't know what the fuck is going. Carrie, I caught myself. I don't know what's going on, but this is so cool. This is really cool. I like this. I like these guys. What do you mean? What do you mean that character? What do you mean that character is mortally wounded? What do you mean that character's suffering depression? What do you mean these two characters, even if they have a yeah. Yeah, no, I like I'm actually Dempsey. Keep track on this channel because within a month or two I will be streaming a Sword Coast campaign on this channel with a few of my friends, some of them IRL, some of them Discord. I will be streaming a Sword Coast and Sorcery campaign following the various adventures and a little bit of homebrew tossed in the Forgotten Realms. Drist may show up if they decide to go to certain places because Drist is cool. Drist is awesome. Drist in Guinevere. Yeah, Sword Coast. Look, okay, because because three of my players are not smart enough to follow the rules of 5e as it is. A fourth guy, who I'm not going to speak about the specifics of the situation because it's his, has tried to learn 3.5 and due to issues prefers 5e because it's simpler. So 4 of my 5 players, 5e is just the best way to go. So I don't want to do a lot of work, so I'm using existing stuff. Yeah, again, 3.5 is like, but no, 3.5 has a lot more stuff going to it, from what I've been told. And 5e, love it, hate it. I personally dislike a lot of 5e. It's a lot more streamlined, and like I said, like I've got players who don't read their rules, so you'll have an individual like in one campaign, like legitimately, I had someone. What the fuck did he try to do? He tried to. What did he try to do? He was trying to use like a level 1 spell. No, that wasn't it. What was it? No, what crap? What? Okay, I'm trying to think of what it was. Like it was something to do with like he didn't read his spell correctly or something like that. I don't know, but like yeah, my players are not like I love my players, but they're not ready for 3.5 if they can't even. No, actually, okay, here's a really good example. I have to consistently remind them how to math out weapon damage. Consistently remind them that it is a dice plus your strength plus some other modifier depending on what item you're using. If you're using a flame tongue sword, you add in the 2d6. Yeah, well, my group's been playing for. I mean, my group is a ship of Theseus. We've lost members, gained members, and this particular group of people have been playing together for about 4 months, 5 months, something like that. And I consistently have to remind them of the damn rules. Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. But basically, yeah, just keep an eye out for that, Dempsey. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a really good campaign, I think. We've got a human blood hunter who wants to retake his home. No, no, they do. No, 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 they do. They have no, 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 Dempsey, Dempsey. They have it written down. They have it written down. They're just, yeah, it's a shit show. It's a fucking shit show. But yeah, no. So the party, I don't. The fifth member, I'm still coordinating on a fifth member. And I've got a person who's more or less down, and then a person in backup just in case that doesn't work out. A Heron Gone open palm monk who doesn't understand money, a human blood hunter who wants to recover his home, a human sorcerer who wants to advise the next king, a crap, what were you? Oh, a Vengeance Azamar who was told by Death himself to observe the next coming cataclysm. That's the current 4 people. But it's not even pre-algebra. It's basic. It is basic mathematics. This is stuff that you could give to like, okay, you roll a dice and the dice rolls 4. 4 plus 3 is what? Or if you have 4, if you roll a 4 and you roll a 2, what is 4 plus 2 plus 2 times 3? I consistently have to explain how to set that equation up. It is not fun, Dempsey. It's almost as fun, Dempsey, as going to South Bank. Those damn dirty losers in South Bank. Their long ears and their prostitute lane and their freedom of speech and their nice clothes. And okay, maybe South Bank has some benefits to it. How long? Okay, hour and 20. Hour and 20. This stream has been properly derailed. We are no longer talking about bowling frogs and the death of steaks. Yeah, exactly, Dempsey. Freaking South Bankers. South Bank. Not as good as North Bank. Not as good as men ruled over by Patrick of Bait. Anyway. Okay, Gunsmoke, you remember the stream last night? The one where I was like building the city? The southern side of the river is South Bank. It is run by Half Drow. It is run by a clan of Half Drow. And Dempsey has latched on to North Bank supremacy for reasons I can't really fathom other than Patrick Bateman. Anyway, thank you, Gunsmoke, thank you, Dempsey, thank you, Carrie, thank you to the lurkers if there are any out there, and thank you to those who have seen the VOD to this point. You are all amazing. You are all awesome. It brings a tear to my fluffing eye, even though you can't see it. It is a metaphysical tear. It does not exist except when cast upon a shadow by a dying god. It means a lot to see people engaging, to see people joining the conversation. Yes, yes, Carrie, I'm aware. And to you, Dempsey, good fortune in all your ventures coming forward. Same with you, Gunsmoke. Same with you, Carrie. All of you, everyone watching, good fortune to you all. I have been the Shadow of the Hawk. Listen to Carrie. Hashtag shut up, Shadow. So I will be shutting up and I will be getting back to writing. Later, y'all.